Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Instead of doing a Twilight Zone that's centered around the news, I would like to do this one and teach you guys how to make white rice, because a lot of people do not know how to make white rice on a stovetop or over a flame. They only know how to make it on a rice maker that needs electricity. Okay, and it is so easy to do that I thought that I'd take a few minutes today and show you guys how to do this. So I'm going to cook my dinner with you guys tonight. Okay, so what we're going to do is there's a basic rule that I follow. Whenever I'm making long grain rice, I follow 2 cups of water for every cup of rice. All right, to the water I add a little bit of oil, as much as you want, right? And I add some salt. Now I've already added some oil to this, and I'm going to add some salt to it now. Whenever I'm cooking what I call sticky rice, or this rice right here, cow roast rice, I call it sticky rice because it comes out sticky, and I really like this rice. It reminds me of like Chinese rice, or the rice that they use when they make sushi. All right. Whenever I'm doing this rice, I do 2 cups of water to every 1.5 cup of rice. So in this pot right here, I've got 4 cups of water, a little bit of oil. So I'm going to add 2.5 cups of rice to this. So what you do is you bring your water up to a boil. Let me see if this light will work. Make it better. I don't know if that makes it better or not. Let's bring it low. There you go. I think that's a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to add some salt. You can add salt to taste, okay? I probably ended up, that right there is probably about a full tablespoon of salt, okay? Then when your water is boiling, you just go ahead and you add your rice. So these are 1/2 cups. So I'm going to add 5 of these. This is 3, 4, okay, 5. So I went ahead and added my rice. I'll get that out of the way. Now I'm going to stir this, and I'm going to sit here or stand here, and I'm going to stir this, not the whole time, but I'm going to stir it a little bit until it comes back up to a nice boil, okay? The reason you want to kind of stir it a little bit is so that the rice in the bottom doesn't stick to the bottom and burn, okay? You're going to have some of the rice, when you cook like this, stick to the bottom, but it should be very minimal, okay? So right now I've got my heat on high. And I'm going to let that sit there until it starts boiling. And it should start boiling pretty quickly because I already had the water hot. It was already at a boil. It came off of a boil because I put the rice in it, brought the temperature down. Okay, so it's going to start boiling pretty quickly. As soon as it starts boiling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this from high heat to a really low heat. So I'm going to move it to my burner. That's the lowest burner. I think I just heard the UPS guy drop a box off from the front there. That's why I quieted down real quick. I thought I heard a noise, and I did. Okay. Now that that's in a rolling boil, I'm going to put my lid on it. I'm going to turn my back burner on, which is my smallest burner, and I'm going to move this up there. Now, you're going to leave that sit there for 25 minutes, okay? This is a 2.5 cup serving of rice that we're making here. So that's going to sit there for anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes before you even open that lid. Don't dare open that lid before that time. If not, you're going to ruin it. It's going to come out like paste is what will happen. You need to keep that temperature, that steam in there for it to end up cooking really well. I'm going to put my timer on so I don't forget. And start it. Okay, that way it'll beep off when it goes off. So, like I said, you're going to leave it there for 25 minutes, all right? Now, the more that you cook, the longer you're going to have to let it sit in the fire, okay? So my rule is For a regular 2 to 2.5 cup of rice pot that you make, it's going to be 25 to 30 minutes. After that, for every cup that I add, I'm going to add about another 15 minutes. So if I were to make a 3 to 3.5 cup batch, I'm going to put it on there for about 45 minutes. All right, 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, and it really depends also on where you live, on how humid it is where you live, what elevation you're at. Okay, so you may have to mess with it a little bit, but I'll tell you what, this is to me a very important skill to have, because if you can cook rice over a flame and cook it well, you're always going to be able to make a flame no matter where you are, whether it's using a range, a gas range, or using a butane stove, or using any kind of stove that has a flame. Usually any kind of a prepper stove, be it a camping stove or a butane stove or anything like that, is going to be a flame stove. So you really do need to learn how to cook on top of a flame instead of cooking on an electric range. Nothing wrong with cooking on an electric range. Preferably, I like to cook on a flame, on top of a flame. And I like to bake with an electric oven. So unfortunately, I can't afford one of those ranges that has a gas top and an electric oven. For some reason, they want to charge like $1,500 for those. So this one is gas all the way. It uses gas for the range and it uses gas for the oven. But for those of you that don't know, the reason why you want to cook with electricity in your oven is because when you're baking, you really want to maintain a very constant temperature, okay? And when you're using a gas stove for your oven, the temperature goes up and down because the flame turns on when the thermostat in there tells the stove that the temperature is going down by a certain number of degrees. Okay, when you have an electric oven, the temperature is very constant because you always have a flow of electricity going through there. Okay, so what I thought I would do today also is I thought that I would cook up a little bit of steak with some curry sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil in here, not too much. Okay, just enough to coat the bottom. I'm going to put it on here, and then I'm going to show you guys the curry that I use, which I think is really, really good. It's Japanese curry. Now, when most people hear about curry or they think about curry, they think about India, right? Indian curry, you know, from India. And a long time ago, how long ago? It's been about 9 years now or so. I had to go to Japan when I was in the Army. I had to go to Japan for about a month or so because they needed some help. The office that I went to needed help, so I went there for about a month to help them out. And I'd never heard about Japanese curry. So one day, one of the guys that I was working with there, he said, "Hey, you want to go to lunch?" And I'm like, "Sure, where do you want to go?" And he says, "You like curry?" I'm like, "I thought curry was an Indian dish." And he said, "No, no, Japanese curry is one of the best curries in the world." And I'm like, "Really? I never knew that." So we went out for lunch, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, that was the best curry I've ever had in my life. And not until a few years ago, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, did I find a Japanese curry that they sold in the supermarket. And I bought me some, and this is actually like 3 years old. And this is what it is right here. It's called Golden Curry. It's called Golden Curry. And I've had this pack here. I bought about 10 packs, 10 or 12 packs when I first seen it. And I'm glad I did because now they're about twice as much as they were like 3 years ago when I first bought them. But this curry is delicious, okay? You guys can look this up and take a look at the ingredients. You probably won't like the ingredients because it's full of stuff. I think it's even got monoglutamine or something like that. That stuff that is supposed to make everything taste good. But let's see. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Oh, here they go. Actually, the ingredients aren't terrible. Yeah, so it's got wheat flour. It's got palm oil, canola oil. It's got salt, sugar, curry powder with spices, monosodium glutamate. I think that's the stuff that's not really that good. And then it's got some disodium inosinate. I think that's a preservative. So it doesn't have a whole bunch of ingredients, but let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is really, really good. If any of you like curry, pick some of this up. And if you've never had curry, try some of this. This is delicious, okay? I'm pretty sure they sell this on Amazon, but I'm not going to leave a link. You should be able to find this in any Asian store around where you live. And what it comes in is, it comes in a small pack like this, and it's just like a few cubes, and it's like a paste, a hard paste, all right? So I'm going to open it up and show you guys what it's like, what it looks like. Let's see. It just comes in a few cubes. You can make them in individual servings, or you can make the entire 4 servings that come in there. And that's what that looks like. You see, it's kind of greenish. And it smells really, really good. Okay? So, and that's what it looks like when you take it out. See that? And I can smell it, and it smells really good. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to heat this skillet up. I've got some meat that I seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper, and of course a little bit of adobo. Okay, I've already seasoned it. I'm going to throw it in here and sear it. And once it's really nicely seared, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some water. It takes 2.5 cups of water to make the entire batch of curry. And then I'm going to let it simmer until the rice is done. And then I'm going to pour that over my rice. And that's going to be my dinner. Now, with this curry, you can put anything you want in there. You can put onions, you can put carrots, potatoes. I didn't really feel like stopping at the store and getting vegetables or anything like that, and I don't have any of that here. I actually have some potatoes, but I'm already eating some rice, and that's enough starch. But you can pretty much put any vegetable in there you want, and it goes good with anything. It's really, really, I mean, it tastes delicious. Even Victor likes this stuff. So that's what we're gonna do now. Let me go ahead and start this up and get it heating up. And let me go ahead and grab myself a spoon. Alrighty. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I was really wanting to do a Twilight Zone like I normally do, but I was going through the news cycle and it was just making me depressed. I mean, I was like, man, I am so tired of just reading the news. So I decided this morning that I just wasn't going to read any news because it was just depressing me. And I was like, I'm just sick of all the, bull crap that's going on, at least in this news cycle. I'm sick of hearing about the darn caravan mob, whatever you want to call it. I'm sick of hearing about that. I'm sick of hearing about this guy that supposedly sent pipe bombs to all these people. I'm just sick of hearing it, So I thought I'd do something a little bit different. And hopefully we'll have a nice discussion here, or on the chat, we'll have a nice discussion. And we'll have a good time doing this. So my oil is nice and hot, and I'm sure you all know how to sear meat. Just put your meat in there. Now, for those of you that may not, do a lot of cooking, when you first put your meat in there, don't try to stir it around right away, because when you first put it in there, it's going to want to stick to the bottom of the pot, okay, or the bottom of the pan, until it's got a nice sear on the bottom. Don't try to move it around. If not, you're just going to end up with a mess in there. All right, and I usually leave a little bit of a gap back here so that any water that's evaporating from the meat as it cooks will be able to vent out, because you really don't want too much water in there. If not, you'll end up steaming it and not searing it. All right, so let's see, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, about the news cycle. Yeah, I'm just tired of reading the news, so I'm not going to read the news this entire weekend. I'm not going to look at any news articles. I'm not going to look at any news channels on YouTube or anything like that. I'm just going to do other stuff, all right? Because enough is enough. You have to take a break from that stuff every once in a while. So I did pick up a couple of things that were on sale. I think it was yesterday I picked them up for the next payday prep. And the next payday prep is going to be a really good one, I think, because I picked up a few things that were on sale. And I've been picking up a few things here and there throughout the week. So we will see what we end up with. All right. Well, I hope you all had a good week, man. I'll tell you what, this was a long week for me. I was ready to get out of work. And every once in a while, our boss lets us out of work a few minutes early on Friday, but this Friday wasn't one of them. And I was like, man, I wish this Friday would have been one of those days that we got out a few minutes early, because that makes a big difference. Really boosts morale. But I'm not complaining, you know. I am getting paid for the time that I'm there, so no complaints. Let's see. So I think that this morning, Friday morning's test trial for the premiere video was pretty good. I think it worked out really well, and I thank the guys that showed up. I had a lot of fun, and I think that we're gonna have a lot of fun chatting live while you guys watch this video here that I'm making. So let's see. Oh, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to put a little bit of salt. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of salt in here. Not too much. We need to bring the flavor out of that meat before we put that curry in there. That way we can actually taste the meat. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I'm sorry if I say ladies and gentlemen too much. I don't know what else to call you. But somebody actually got on me today. They left a comment on one of the videos saying, why do you always have to say ladies and gentlemen so much? I'm like, well, what else am I supposed to call you? You know, do you want me to call you an expletive? But I just thought it was kind of funny. Some people just have to complain about one thing or another. You know, there's, you know, somebody went through all the trouble of watching an entire video, and all they could do was comment on, why do you have to say ladies and gentlemen so much? You know, that's one of the things that gets me. You know, it's one of the things that gets me. It's like if you've ever noticed that you can get on YouTube and get on a channel that is putting out something that's really important. And I'm not speaking about my channel per se, you know, in particular, but any channel. Let's say you get on a channel that's putting something out that's really important. Like, for example, let's take, for example, Adapt 2030 or Diamond's channel, Oppenheimer Ranch Project, right? Or the Ice Age Farmer. You know, those are three of my favorite channels. You know, I have a lot of other favorite channels. But you look at those channels that these guys are putting out information that I feel is extremely important. And you go to their channels and you see that their videos have, you know, a few thousand views, you know. And then you go to a channel where a guy is buying a car with pennies and it's got 3 million views. Or you go to a channel where someone is playing a video game, and that's what their channel is. That's what the video is. They're playing a video game and it's got 7 million, 8 million views. I'm like, goodness gracious, man. You know, that's okay, because, you know, the people that are in the know and that spend their time visiting channels like this and other channels that actually are trying to help, you know, the people as a whole, those people are going to be much better off than the other people that are spending, you know, most of their day watching other people play video games. What have we come to, ladies and gentlemen? How have we ended up here where people actually spend time? And if you're one of those people, I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how I feel, okay? More power to you, all right? But how do you spend hours watching someone else play a video game? I play video games. I like playing Call of Duty. I like playing the zombie ones. I don't really like doing the story mode. I just like shooting zombies. So, yeah, I play video games, but I don't sit there and watch other people playing video games. So, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. That looks pretty good. Let me see if this even helps. I don't know if that helps or not, but that might look really gross. I don't know if it looks gross or not, but it looks pretty good from here. Okay? Does that help? I don't think that light helps really. So now what I'm going to do is, I've got a couple of cups of water here, 2.5 cups of this water. I'm going to put this on high, and then I'm going to put the water in there and let the water get hot. I'm going to let that water come to a boil. And once that water gets pretty close to coming to a boil, or it gets pretty hot, I'm going to put in my blocks of curry in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and stir it around until it's dissolved in there. But if you can see the meat, I'm not sure if you can see the meat or not, but you see it's got a nice sear on it. Okay? Let me see if I can show it to you. See, the meat has got a nice sear on it. And that's what you want, because that holds in the moisture and it doesn't let the meat dry out. Alright? So we're going to go ahead and put this block of curry in here. And I'm going to break it up while it's in there. And of course, you need to be careful when you're doing this part, because if you break it up hard, this can splash and get all over you, and you don't want that to happen. But yeah, all we do now is we just, and this is such a simple meal to prepare, because literally it's going to take about 30 minutes to 35 minutes from start to finish. So from start to finish, you're looking at about 35 minutes, and you're actually going to have a really good meal that will feed 4 or more people. Okay, really well. This is the kind of meal here that'll stick to your bones, and that once you eat it, you probably don't have to eat the rest of the day. So it's probably one of those meals that's good to have for lunchtime. And then for dinner, you can just either eat some leftovers or eat something really light. And you'll be satisfied, because this meal right here is really filling, especially with the rice. Here we go. It's starting to dissolve in there now. That's what it looks like. It's starting to dissolve. You guys will see what it looks like pretty good once it's done, and I can pour it over the rice. The only thing that this meal is missing is a vegetable. That's really it. That's the only thing that this meal is missing, is a vegetable. Other than that, you've got your starch, you've got your protein, and you're just missing your vegetables. I can actually get some corn and put it on there, but I don't really feel like eating any veggies right now. I wanted to come home and make something that was pretty quick, because I'm pretty hungry. I didn't really eat too much of a lunch today. Pretty hungry, and I really didn't want to stop and get any junk food. So this is what it is right here. And my wife and my daughter aren't here right now, so they'll be back here in about a week or so. They went to visit my wife's mom in Michigan. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to put it on low and leave it on low for just a couple of minutes, because this is already done. Okay, this right here is already done. I'm going to leave it on low for a couple of minutes, and we're going to wait for the rice. The rice still has probably about 7 minutes left before it's done. So I don't know what to do to entertain you guys until then. Let's take a look. Let's go to Zero Hedge. Let's see what articles they have up. I'm already breaking my first rule. I said I wasn't going to go to any news sites, but I'm not going to read any of the articles, okay? I'm just going to take a look at some of the headlines to see if there's anything funny. Hopefully there's something funny, okay? Because that would be nice. See, I haven't found anything funny yet. Oh, did you guys see the stock market today? Meaning Friday? I think it took about a 300-point dive. So volatility is in the air. If you guys know how to read the charts, it's really looking like it's like the Dow. I went ahead and turned this off now, ladies and gentlemen. This is done. If you guys know how to read the charts and you take a look at the chart for the Dow Jones, it's looking like a broken chart. And what I mean about a broken chart is that it's very bearish, because it's making highs, but every high that it makes is a lower high. So meaning that it'll go up one day and then it'll come down hard, and then it'll go up again, but it won't go up as far as it did the last time. And if you take a look at the chart, the last 3 mini cycles that the Dow has gone through, it's been just like that. It's been a high, then a lower high, then a lower high. So it's looking like a broken chart. I don't know, anything can happen because really uh, all they have to do is inject money into the market and it'll go up. So for those of you that are wondering why it is that the stock market is it's not doing as well as it has been in the past, if you all know, um, the Federal Reserve, who controls the monetary policy, obviously, all right, what they're doing is they're called what's called tightening, all right. In the past, they were doing what was called quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is just another name for money printing. Okay, so they were putting a lot of what's called liquidity into the market. All right, they were throwing a lot of cash into the market. All right, and that, in addition to having low interest rates, okay, uh, enabled companies to do a lot of stock buybacks. Okay, and now what the Federal Reserve is doing, it's doing the opposite. Not only is it increasing the interest rates, but at the same time, it's getting rid of a lot of the junk bonds that it was holding on to. Remember all of those mortgage-backed securities that the Fed bought? I think they bought about 2.5 trillion or so dollars worth of mortgage-backed securities. Well, they're trying to sell that back into the market now. We're trying to sell the $2 trillion worth of bonds that they had back into the market. So now, instead of injecting liquidity into the market, and instead of keeping the interest rates low, now they're pushing the interest rates up. And not only are they not injecting liquidity into the market, but they're also trying to sell all of the junk that they bought in the past in order to try to help the market back in 2008. So the lack of liquidity is affecting the stock market. Now, ladies and gentlemen, understand that this is what I think. All right, this is what I think is going on. If any of you know better than what I'm talking about, actually we can chat about it tomorrow. All right, when this video premieres. Okay, but that's what I think is going on. And what's going to happen is that as interest rates do keep going up and up and up, it's going to affect the economy in a bad way, because what's the first thing that a person looks at when they go to buy a house? They look at the interest rate. How much is the interest rate? The interest rate is going to determine how much that person can borrow. Okay, so the higher the interest rates, there's a couple of things that's going to happen. If the interest rates go up, people are either going to have to pay more to borrow the loan, all right, or they're going to have to turn to the seller and say, hey, listen, this is all I can afford. And the seller is going to either say, yes, I'll sell it to you for a lower price, or no, I can't sell it to you. Okay, so that's what's going to happen, because we are not really making more money than what we were making 10 years ago. Maybe nominally, we may be making a little bit more, but as far as purchasing power, we're not really making more. Okay, I went to the store here a couple days ago and I couldn't believe the prices. I mean, literally, I bought a pack of coffee that a year ago, let me show it to you. I have it over here. Let me show you the coffee that I use. This coffee right here, all right? I love this coffee. I like this coffee, and I also like this coffee. This is my number one. This is my number two. But this coffee a year ago, excuse me, I could buy for $2.50. $2.50 a year ago, I could buy this coffee. Yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, I went to the supermarket, to the commissary. This same coffee was $3.50. That's $1 more. That's about a 40% increase. In 1 year, a 40% increase. Now, that may not sound like a lot, $1 more, but multiply that times all of the things that you buy. Okay? Let me see. I got one of my adobos out here. One of these guys, a year ago, one of these guys was about $1.39. $1.39 for one of these. Okay? I bought one of these here just a few days ago for $1.89, 50 cents more. That's about a 35% increase than what I was paying a year ago. So everything adds up, ladies and gentlemen. Things are going to get more expensive. Now, I don't know if the price of the coffee correlates with what's going on as far as food shortages and as far as places that grow coffee um, having problems with producing coffee. But all I know is that the prices are going up. Okay. I bought a couple of jars of peanut butter because I couldn't believe. Oh, there you go. I couldn't believe the peanut butter just 2 or 3 months ago. The same size peanut butter that I bought is already up by 50 cents. Normally, about a month ago, I think I displayed it in one of my payday preps. It was one of the big store brand jars, and it was like $3.57. And here, just a few days ago, I noticed that now it's over $4. It's $4.07 actually. So it went up 50 cents in a month. So I mean, you take 50 and divide it into 350. That's seven. That's almost a 15% increase in 1 month for the same exact item. Okay, so everything is going to be going up. I don't know how people are going to afford to be able to purchase homes or to be able to purchase a new car or even a new used car. You know, how are people going to be able to pay their credit card bills? Those people that have credit card bills, all right? Because a credit card bill, usually the interest rate is dependent on the interest rate that's set by the Fed. Okay, so things are not getting better. All right. I am by nature, I am a very optimistic person, but I can tell you what, things are not getting better, ladies and gentlemen. This is the time right here. I've said this 100 times and I'll say it again. We are blessed. We have been blessed to have the time that we have now to prepare. So if you're listening to this video and you're thinking about prepping, or maybe you just prep once in a while, get a little bit here, get a little bit there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for us to prepare. Take advantage of this time, okay? The Lord is sending you a boat. We are in a flood, and the Lord is sending us a boat and telling us, get on this boat so that you can get out of here. Don't say no. Get on the boat. Get on this train and start prepping and start doing something that you know will help you when nobody else will. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough preaching. I think maybe I could have been a preacher if I wanted to, because I can go on rants pretty good. So the rice is done. Let's see if it's going to stand up to all of the hype that I was talking about. And that wasn't even that long, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, this is sticky rice. This is not the long grain rice. The long grain rice is the rice that's kind of fluffy, okay? But this is the sticky rice, so it's not going to be fluffy like long grain, all right? And this is the kind of rice that I like to eat when I'm eating curry, okay? So let's go ahead and open it up. And I want to show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and grab a plate. So let's see if you guys can take a look at it. See that? It came out really good. Let's see if I can give you better light. There you go. That's really good. Look at that. That actually came out really, really good. That's what it's supposed to look like. That rice is nice and tender. It is really perfectly cooked, to tell you the truth. I've been cooking rice like this for years. I learned how to do it from my mom. All right, just by watching her. When I moved out of my house when I was 18, I figured out that I can't eat on peanut butter and couldn't live on peanut butter and jelly. So I started remembering the way that my mom cooked, because she used to cook every single day of the week. Every meal that we had at the house, my mom cooked every single day of the week. All right? Because we really didn't have the money to be going out. And I remember what she did when she cooked. Okay? So you see that? That's nice right there. I'm going to have me a couple of scoops. And that's what that rice looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can do this. It's not difficult to make rice like this. I mean, this is a very easy thing to do, and you don't have to put it in a rice cooker. I've found that whenever rice gets cooked in a rice cooker, it just doesn't have any taste. Okay, now I'm going to get my curry out here. Let me go ahead and grab another spoon, if I can find one. Here we go. Uh-oh, just dropped my cup. Just a second. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab my spoon. This actually looks really good. I'm going to get some beef. Put it over that. And then I'm going to grab some of the curry. And I'm just going to take the curry and put it around. And this curry is mild. They sell the hot one. I like the hot one also. But this is the mild one. I grabbed some of each when I bought this. And here you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's not difficult. This is not difficult to do. Anybody can do this. So if you don't know how to cook, make sure you learn how to cook. Especially over a fire. All right, because that's important. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it for today. I guess we're going to go ahead and see you guys tomorrow because I'm hungry and I'm going to eat this right here. Okay? So we will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a nice chat. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to premiere this video tomorrow just so that we can do some live chatting because it's a lot of fun. All right? So we'll talk to you tomorrow. And then remember that on Sunday, that is the day that you are going to enter for the 3 prepper item giveaway. All right, that's going to be the day that you enter. On Sunday's Q&A video, your comment and your like will automatically enter you into the contest. And then the following Sunday, the following Q&A, we will go ahead and pick the winner. Okay, and who knows if the premiere goes well tomorrow with this again, then maybe we'll do a premiere on Sunday as well. Okay, but I'll let you guys know tomorrow during the chat whether we're going to do a premiere on Sunday, but you'll be able to see it. If you haven't clicked the bell next to the subscribe button, go ahead and click it, because if I'm going to premiere a video and I forget to tell you all, then it'll alert you and it'll let you know that I'm premiering video. Okay, so go ahead and click on that bell so that you'll be notified in case I forget to tell you that I'm going to premiere on Sunday so that we can do some live chatting then also. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and take off. Like I said before, I hope you guys had a good week. And we're going to have a good weekend ahead. Let's hope so. It's not supposed to snow this weekend, but I think we're expecting snow next week. So I can't complain. It's been a really good season so far as not getting snow. So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.